Hi, horsey and gun people. I'm working on a little painting project here. So I got this little, it's a cool little horse. You can't see it. I guess I should have probably showed it before. But it was all rusty when it came in. It's got a counterweight. And it sits on this little stand here. And so the stand was all rusty right here. Didn't look too bad underneath here. But it had pretty good surface rough here. It's kind of rough. So I kind of gave it a little sanding and I sprayed it down with this rust converter, which usually works pretty good. This was really rusty up here on the top part and underneath. So I mean, it's pretty old. It's not real straight. I was going to try and straighten it, but it works kind of okay, so I'm not going to mess with it. And basically how it works is this little guy right here, you put his back legs right here, and then he balances, and there's a little horsey that, I'm probably not far enough out. Yeah. So a little horsey and a little guy, the cowboy riding it, his head moves, etc. So I kind of taped it off and I sprayed all this down because this was all rusty too. And now I'm going to give it some Rust-Oleum paint. You don't have to watch me paint it. I'm going to put some of this oil base black Rust-Oleum on it. It's going to make it shiny, and hopefully it will stop the rusting on top of this rust converter. Now I think it says you have to let this dry a good 12 hours. It dries almost like to the touch within an hour. But they say for it to cure, you want to give it a good 12 hours, I think is what it said. Maybe I'll read it before I start this. But my paint was all frozen in the garage, so I've had it sitting in the house. I put it by the fireplace. It's not where it got direct heat, but where it was nice and warm. And so now it's loosened up to where I can shake it and then go ahead and give it a good little coat here. So I didn't show you before, but I figured I would show afterwards because it's kind of a cool little thing. So I gotta hang this here. I made this little lever for it to dry there. I just put one of my little brushes that's plastic, and then it can hang on it, and that way I can paint it and it'll have a place to dry while it's moving around, and hopefully it won't get to paint on anything else. So let me paint this, and again I've got it inside the house because it's too cold outside to dry. And of course Moki wanted to come in and help. What are you doing, boy? Every time I start a project you come in here to get in the way. You're gonna get a spanking. Alright. Let me get this painted here. Okay. So I got a little coat of paint on it there. Hopefully it'll level out and dry a little bit. And hopefully it won't drip, but if it does, I got something on the ground there for it. Hopefully that will stop that rust. It's a nice old heavy metal balancing thing. It's pretty cool. Alright, we'll see how it looks when it dries. Okay, so here's the finished horsey. So if you notice, the little head moves back and forth. The tail moves back and forth. It's on a little counterweight. The head moves back and forth. So when you move that, all the little things moves. Oh, and his arms move back and forth. So that's the finished project. It's painted up. Kind of got most of the rust down. Probably still see a little pitting underneath there, but otherwise I painted it. And all I'm going to do now, I put some of this Renaissance wax all over his color because he was kind of dingy, and that Renaissance wax made him yeehaw! Yeehaw! So that Renaissance wax kind of brought out his colors a little bit, and he looks the same on the other side. It's pretty cool the way he kind of just sits up there right on his points, on his two back hooves. So that's probably going to get scratched up. That was pretty rusty. And I'm kind of telling now because of because this guy is pretty freaking heavy. I mean, he's not light at all. Really cool craftsmanship. All the little moving parts. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a good little find, even though it was rusty and took some cleaning up. He looks good now. All right. I'll end that there. I'll add that into the other one.